I'm very fortunate to be at the workshop of Anyscale Models talking to Stuart Binning. Stuart, could you give us a wee tour, please?
Absolutely, with pleasure. Come this way.
This is
This is actually part of the production workshop. So this is where the resin casting gets done. So primarily the models, first of all, I've obviously got to make them. So that the master model making work is the time consuming bit. And then from the master models I make silicon moulds. And from the silicon mould we pour liquid resin, and it's the liquid resin, once it solidifies, that becomes a production model. That's what the customers buy. And the resins, it's really tough, it's hard stuff. So obviously it's quite a dirty process, so it's kept separate from everything else. This is the stock holding area, so there's over 700 items in 4 or 5 different scales. I started out on eBay. eBay was really where it all kicked off, because when my dad died, I ended up with his entire model railway, and he had thousands of items. So I started selling them on eBay, and then I realised maybe I should be making some stuff. And I started making some bits and pieces. And actually, the lower numbers, if you go up to 01, 02, these are the very first things I ever made. So 01 was an attempt at a pile of sandbags in a wee bunker. So you can put your tanks behind it, or your infantry can hide in amongst it. And that's really how it started. And then from that, I started the website, and 700 items later, it's just gone mental. Plus I do third-party work for other companies, so I actually do the master model making work, and I do production work for them as well. So this is components that are waiting to be assembled, so that will be parts of a Canadian CMP truck. So that will go together as a complete kit in a bag. I've got 1 or 2 things to do on it to tidy it up, but that's what it is. So the workshop is zoned. Obviously, because I spent my time as an aircraft engineer, I tended to do everything very methodically. That's not to say that all aircraft engineers are like that. I work with guys that are like completely, their workbenches are a mess. It's just how it is. But I always liked the process and keeping things in order.
Nice and organised.
And when you have over 700 items, you need to be pretty switched on with what you're doing, where stuff is. Andy, that comes and works with me, for me sometimes, that's his workstation. This is all his products, so he's got his own range of stuff. These are master models, so these are the master vehicles. And the master models are generally made from plastic card, and balsa wood, and all sorts of stuff. And it's that I can make as many moulds as I want.
Okay.
And then from the moulds, you can make as many replicas.
Okay.
So in fact, there's one, that's actually casting. So that's come out of the mould.
Cool.
But this is actually getting redone as a newer version of this. It's an improved way of casting it, so that's why it's sitting there. That's my workstation. Packing bench, so the orders come in the morning. And obviously I pick the stuff out the bin, sit it. If they're sitting here, it's because there's a couple of items missing from the order. I don't have them in the pick bin. The stuff gets wrapped up, postage label on it, flung in the bucket, and it gets taken down to the post office, or the post office come and collect it for me.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's that station. That's the packing station. And then the rest of it is model making. The rest of it is inspiration. Well, there's a 3D printer as well, so it doesn't get used for production work. It gets used for making master models, or making components for master models. It's too slow a process to produce the actual finished item. It's quite a slow process, 3D printing, particularly for what I do. So, but this is really where it all starts, is the library, because this is the inspiration. Because books are a great source of ideas. And then you need to, if you're making a model of something, you need lots of images of it, and lots of photographs and lots of angles. Loads of books with scale drawings, which you can put on the computer and scale up or scale down and do all sorts of stuff with. So there's literally thousands of books here on predominantly military subjects, but lots of railways as well. There's loads of these little pamphlet books which are really ancient now, but they're full of beautiful scale drawings. But the scale drawings are not enough because you need plenty of photographs to look at as well. So you would want, if you were making a model of that folding, say, you would want images of it all different sides. This isn't a particularly good example I'm showing you because every photograph needs to show it from the front and not from the back. But you get the idea. And that's what it's all about. Grown men playing with toys. Whether it's toy trains or soldiers at a wargaming show. I do it as well. It's my hobby. Do I take it seriously to the point that I'm getting bent out of shape when I rail with locomotives, know the correct shade of green? No. They're just toys. But rather lovely toys.
Yep. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, these cabinets here are my own production. Well, these are because every time I make something, obviously I've got to promote it. So I obviously do a painted version of it, and then it gets set up in a scene, and then the stuff gets chucked in the cabinets. The wargaming figures they're nothing to do with my business. They're just my own hobby. And I make spaceships and all sorts of silly things. Model making's fun. Model making's everything should fascinate you when you're a model maker. Particularly if it's a model railway, because you could set it in any particular time period, or you could have it as modern day. And then literally every time you're out and about, walking, driving, you're looking at things.
Yeah.
Trees, buildings, cows in the field, cars. And you're creating a little world, a little fantasy world that is your ideal. Because in my model railway, there's no vandals, there's no unemployment, there's no war going on. It's just a beautiful little part of the world that I've created that, yeah, I'd like to live here. I think most railway models are the same, although they maybe wouldn't even think about it that way. You're basically creating a wee fantasy world.
Absolutely stunning,
So there
Stuart.
you go. That's my world.
Thank you very much
very
for
welcome.
the tour.
You're
All right,
welcome.
appreciate it.
It's not often I get to talk about it in terms of what it is. You know, it's, and I've got to be very careful because I forget how fortunate I am that I do this. Because having spent most of my life travelling up and down to Glasgow Airport or travelling across the world fixing aeroplanes, all the time I was doing it, this is really what I wanted to do, was work in my hobby, working my passion, and now I do it. So this is 8 years worth of work.
8 years.
8 years have been since Anyscale Models started. But yeah, when you spend your day commuting up and down to Glasgow Airport, to be honest, it's not a big commute compared to what a lot of folk do in England. You know, they've got a 2.5 hour commute into London maybe, and sitting in traffic that's just bumper to bumper. The commute for me to Glasgow Airport was 40 minutes at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I got the road to myself. The only time it was busy was coming home at night, sometimes at 5:30. And if it was an extra 10 minutes in my journey, I was getting annoyed. But you put it in perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not living in the home counties.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare for people having to travel and fight their way through traffic. Oh, it'd be a night. Honestly, I feel sorry for folk. So, yeah. So I followed my dream. That's what I do.
Good for you, bud.
The maker of toys.
Thank you very much for the
You're
tour.
very welcome, Robin.
Thank you very much to Stuart Binning of AnyscaleModels.com. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to know when the next video is posted, just hit the subscribe button below and I'll let you know. Thanks a lot. Bye.